If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be camping just like the BSA. You see them wearing their backpacks and hiking all the way. Everybody's gone scouting, scouting USA.
Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to the BSA 2010 National Jamboree. We're here at the Lewis and Clark Expedition booth of the Maripatch Midway, here with Ed. And we would like to ask Ed some questions. So, what were some of the most common diseases and injuries on the expedition?
Well, there were numerous different types of diseases and injuries. A lot of times they would get dysentery from the bad water or from rotted meat or fish. Sometimes they would get injuries to their feet from walking with moccasins over prickly pear cactuses, such as when they were portaging the canoes around the Great Falls of the Missouri. Also things from coldness and sore eyes from sand blowing off the riverbanks. And even when Sacagawea was with them and she got sick around Great Falls, Montana. Numerous things like that. Anything that could happen to expedition members when you're traveling across the country and you're out in the cold and exposed to the elements.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, my name is Tanner, and Ed, how would you treat some of the injuries that were on the trail?
Well, the way we treat some of the injuries, now I mentioned about the injuries to their feet when they were portaging the dugout canoes. Those were treated with bacillic ointment. That was used for skin irritations and abrasions, cuts and scrapes, and bacillic ointment is made with a mixture of pine resin and beeswax and lard. Now, I also mentioned about when Sacagawea got sick by the Great Falls. They gave her some of the mineral water from the sulfur springs that emit forth there. And the minerals in the water help replenish her electrolytes, which had been severely depleted by all the bleeding and purging they'd been doing. Now, some guys had teeth problems. If you had a toothache, they'd give you cloves. They'd grind up the cloves and put it on your sore tooth and it would take away the pain. Now, if your toothache didn't go away and it developed into a cavity, they didn't have dental drills back then, so you'd have to have the tooth out. For that, they had this tool called a tooth key. Basically, they would hook this tool over your tooth and twist it, and the hook would break through your gum and your jawbone and twist out the tooth from underneath the root. Then, if there are any little bits of root left over, you'd go in with a dental elevator and dig them out. Also, some of the guys on the expedition got some symptoms of malaria. Peruvian bark was used to treat malaria, and Peruvian bark contains quinine, which is used today for malaria. They had chocolate with them. Once when Captain Clark wasn't feeling well, he was given a drink of hot chocolate. They used to think that chocolate would make you feel better. Now, of course, I mentioned that some of the guys had some stomach problems. Meriwether Lewis spent a month before the expedition began studying medicine with Dr. Benjamin Rush, and he gave them Dr. Rush's bilious pills. These are made with a mixture of mercury and jalap, which is a plant root, and held together with breadcrumbs as a binding agent. And if you're given one of Dr. Rush's pills, you'd have to hurry to the bathroom, because in less than 10 minutes you'd be clear to the extent that just liquid would be coming out of you. Also, to make you go to the bathroom, they could give you saltpeter, and if they're out of saltpeter, they'd give you gunpowder, because saltpeter is one of the ingredients in gunpowder.
Alright, so one more question. What tools were used to treat different injuries and diseases?
Oh, well, there were a number of tools and items used. Now, you see, the main medical thought 200 years ago was that in order to stay healthy, you had to have a balance of the four humors of the body. The four humors are blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. And if there was an imbalance in the four humors, or if there were bad humors in you, you'd have to have them out. So if a person was sick, you take a bleeding bowl, put it up to their arm, take a fleam, make an incision, and all that